Good morning, Chairperson.
Yes, are we ready?
We are, Chair. But before we get to today's business, I would like to correct an error I made in last week's questioning of Mr. Ramosabudi. On Friday evening, it was brought to my attention that in my questioning of Mr. Ramosabudi at the end of the session on Thursday, the 26th of November, Thursday's session, I unintentionally referred to McKinsey as opposed to regiments in relation to kickbacks paid to shell companies set up by Salim Essa. And Chair, the transcript reference to where I accidentally and incorrectly referred to McKinsey is day 13, page 198, line 5. Day 13, page 198, line 5. So I need to apologize for my error both to you, Chair, and of course to McKinsey, and I need to set the record straight. So I'd like to do that and just make it very clear.
Yes.
There is a spreadsheet on pages 590 to 597 of Annexure VV4. That was the spreadsheet on which I was questioning Mr. Ramosabudi. That spreadsheet is a spreadsheet of revenue generated by the Regiment's Advisory Unit, not the McKinsey Advisory Unit. The kickbacks to Salim Essa shell companies reflected on that spreadsheet were kickbacks to be paid by regiments, not by McKinsey. In relation to that spreadsheet, I questioned Mr. Ramosabudi on the SAA working capital contract and referred him to the kickback in respect of that contract reflected on page 596 of Annexure VV4. Regiments worked on that contract with McKinsey, but the Commission has found no evidence to suggest that McKinsey was aware of any bribes or kickbacks being paid by regiments in respect of that contract. I just want to set the record straight on that.
Thank you, thank you.
Chair, Mr. Mpofu, might I just have a word with Mr. Mpofu,
yes,
who represented Mr. Ramosabudi as well?
Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Mpofu was just wanting to indicate that in his capacity as Mr. Ramosabudi's representative, he's noted the correction.
Yes, okay, no, that's fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Chair, there are quite a few legal representatives present today for today's evidence and for what was planned for today, and I wonder if everyone might put themselves on record before I start today's proceedings. One of the representatives, Mr. Cockrell, is here with us on Zoom.
Well, I think let's take it step by step. I think your next application is for the postponement of the evidence of the other witness who was going to give evidence today, Mr. Williams, I think, and the other witnesses who were going to give evidence tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. If there are legal representatives representing those, then we can have those placing themselves on record before you move that application. But those who may be representing certainly Mr. Gordhan and whoever else in regard to Mr. Gordhan's cross-examination evidence, then they can place themselves on record when we get to what's going to happen today with regard to Mr. Gordhan's evidence.
Thank you, Chair. There are indeed representatives of the witnesses coming, Mr. Williams and witnesses coming later or due to come later in the week.
Yes.
There are also representatives of interested parties in relation to those witnesses. And
yes,
I wonder if they
place on record.
I wonder if they might place themselves on record at this point.
Yes. Well, maybe you. Okay, yeah, you might do it from where you are if your microphone works. If it doesn't work, you might have to come to the podium. Or maybe let everybody come to the podium, then
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
My name is Leago Matabate, and I appear on behalf of Mr. Sipho Masego.
Yes.
He was an implicated party in Mr. Williams' statement.
Yes.
So we just want to place on record that we reserve our client's rights to cross-examine
Yes.
Mr. Williams should the need arise.
Yes, okay, all right.
Thank you,
You
Chair.
will have to apply for leave
Yes, Chair.
if you want to cross-examine.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chair.
all right. Okay, thank you.
Morning, Chair.
Good morning.
I am Advocate Patrick Ngujana. I am here with Mr. Ethel Williams. We have been informed that there will be this application to have his evidence postponed today
Yes.
on account of the evidence leader was not available
Yes.
to deal with this evidence today.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, I see Mr. Cockrell on the Zoom screen.
Oh, okay. Mr. Cockrell?
Thank you, Chair. Morning, Chair. Sorry, Chair, I'm on the Zoom feed, but I can't see you.
Yes.
I place myself on record. I appear for Bain & Company South Africa Incorporated. It's one of the entities that is implicated in Mr. Williams' evidence.
Yes.
Chair, my client has applied for leave to cross-examine Mr. Williams and has also applied for one or two other things. So may I simply place myself on record for purposes of those applications? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, well, I am not aware of the application for leave to cross-examine, but that doesn't mean the commission hasn't received it. Things start somewhere before they get to me, but it's good if you make it, bring it to my attention.
May I simply say, I'd been engaging with Mr. Franklin before he took ill, and he is obviously well aware of that application.
Yeah.
We have been discussing some of the logistics, but obviously all of that has fallen away. In
Yes.
physical health, Chair.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I think Mr. Mpofu wishes to speak to you.
Good morning, Chair. It looks
Good morning, Mr. Mpofu.
looks like I'm having a busy morning today. Chair,
Yeah.
we would also like to place on record that in relation to some of the witnesses who were meant to be here for the rest of the week, particularly Mr. Van Lochrenberg, Symington, Lakay, and I think Mr. Williams as well. We were informed of some of them on time, others only came last week. So we intend to apply for cross-examination.
Yes.
At this stage, I'm not sure if it's for all of them.
Yes.
But I will discuss it with Mr. Franklin.
Yes, okay. No,
Thank you,
that's
Chair.
fine. Okay, all right.
Chair, that then brings me to the business of the day, and as several of the legal representatives have foreshadowed, I need to ask for a postponement of the evidence of Mr. Williams that was due to be called later today, together with the evidence of Mr. Flock Symington, who was due to testify tomorrow, Mr. Van Lochrenberg, who was due to testify on Wednesday, and Mr. Lakay, who was due to testify on Thursday. The reason for the requested postponement, Chair, is that the evidence of leader of the Commission, who was dealing with all of these witnesses whose testimony relates to SARS, is Mr. Alistair Franklin, SC, and Mr. Franklin has come down ill yesterday and is not in a position to come to the Commission or to be present in the Commission today, and may well not be able to be present this week. We would ask that the evidence of those witnesses be postponed until, and to be set down at later dates as soon as we know what the condition of Mr. Franklin is and when he will be able to take that evidence. Specifically in relation to the witness, Mr. Williams, I'd like to apologize for the very short notice that he received of this postponement application, because he has in fact come up from Cape Town yesterday to be here today, and he wasn't notified before he came up. But I assure you, Chair, that that this state of affairs happened only in the course of yesterday, and the Commission did its best to notify his attorneys as soon as it became clear that Mr. Franklin was not going to be available today.
Okay, no, that's right. I take it that all the other parties who will be affected by the postponement of the evidence of the witnesses you have mentioned have no objection to the postponement.
None that's been communicated to me, but maybe those persons present here can be asked if they have any.
Just say if there is any of them who is opposing, they can raise their hand. If they don't, then I will take that there is no opposition. There is no hand being raised, so there is no opposition.
It has been confirmed to me that Mr. Williams has no objection to the postponement.
Yes, okay, all right. So the hearing of the evidence of the witnesses that Mr. Chaskalson has mentioned, which was going to happen later today in the case of Mr. Williams, and tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday in regard to the other witnesses, is postponed, and other dates will be fixed for them to come back and come and give evidence. Okay, thank you very much, and all inconvenience to all concerned is really regretted, but as Mr. Chaskalson says, the evidence leader who was going to lead those witnesses has fallen ill, and that only happened yesterday. Okay. Mr. Chaskalson.
Thank you, Chair. Apart from the evidence to be led by Mr. Franklin, Chair, today was scheduled for the cross-examination of Minister Gordhan by Mr. Mpofu on behalf of Mr. Moyane.
Yes, I see Mr. Gordhan has joined us. He was, I think, not on the screen when I greeted everybody. Good morning, Minister Gordhan.
Good morning, Mr. Person.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Chaskalson.
And Chair, as this cross-examination is cross-examination by Mr. Mpofu and not by Mr. Franklin, we do not seek any postponement of this cross-examination from today. However, Chair, it will be necessary for me briefly to lead Minister Gordhan on his clarificatory affidavit, which he filed after he testified and which hasn't yet been the subject of oral evidence. And I ask, because we now have the whole day open, I ask that this matter might stand down until after the tea adjournment so that I might briefly prepare in relation to leading that evidence and confer with Mr. Gordhan and his legal representatives to give them an indication of where I intend to go with that.
Well, first of all, I thank you, Mr. Chaskalson, for stepping in to assist in the absence of Mr. Franklin, at least with regard to Mr. Gordhan's evidence, because if nobody had stepped in, we might have had to consider postponing the cross-examination, obviously with everybody being heard first. But the fact that you were able to step in at very short notice has assisted us to be able to continue with Mr. Gordhan's evidence and his cross-examination. But certainly I will grant you some time to look at issues that you need to look at. And I confirm that all legal representatives affected by this have no problem with the matter being stood down urgent for some time for you to get that chance. They have confirmed that to me. So we are at 28 minutes to 11. Shall we say we will resume at 11:30?
Thank you, Chair.
That'll be fine. That's fine. Mr. Mpofu? That's in order. Yes. Ms. Leroux? That's in order. Okay, all right. Mr. Gordhan, we are going to adjourn until 11:30. Mr. Franklin, who was going to be the evidence leader, is not well, and Mr. Chaskalson has stepped in to try and assist so that we don't postpone your evidence or the cross-examination. But he needs some time to look at certain issues because he has not been involved in the matter until, I think, yesterday. So we are going to adjourn until 11:30. We adjourn.
Thank you, Chair.